Today, we live in a microwave society. We live in an instant gratification era, and people want to microwave things that need to be cooked in crock pots. I'll say that again. People want to microwave things that should be cooked in crock pots. In life, there's a coinage that says the patient man wins, and it's so true because more often than not, a lot of people ruin their life for instant gratification. Instant gratification is the worst thing you could ever indulge in, especially if you haven't made it. But when you're young, when you're naive to the way the world works, and you hop out there and you do something without thinking, you act prematurely, you can cost yourself your life if you mess up significant enough. A lot of people have done things in this era because of what they see on social media. People are now taking risk. People are now taking penitentiary chances just to make a couple bucks, in the words of 21 Savage. People are taking penitentiary chances because they see people popping at 24 and they think they're entitled to be popping at 24 as well. And that's the thing about social media. And this is why I tell people to stay off of social media, because social media, you only see the cover. You only see the cover of the book. And your grandma once told you, you never judge a book by its cover. So you only see the cover, the inside and outside, but you don't see all the text. You don't see what's in the middle of the making of that 24-year-old who can pull up in a McLaren. So people only see the cover, and then they convince themselves that because they're close in age that they should have what they're looking at, that they should be the one that's in a McLaren. They should be the one that's in the Bugatti. And life just doesn't work like that. Social media has convinced so many people that these luxurious items and these luxurious lifestyles come quickly. And that couldn't be further from the truth, because if you really want to have something great, if you want to have something that nobody else can have, you're going to have to be patient. And it's almost like the last man standing at the end of the day. If a Bugatti was easy to obtain, everybody would have one. And the reason why a lot of people don't get the Bugattis is because they're not patient. They're not patient. They're not strategic. They're not forward thinking. They're so caught up in the moment. And that's one of the biggest things young people today, that's one of the biggest mistakes they make, is being caught up in the moment. And think about this. If I'm going to live 100 years, why would I take such a risk that costed me my life for just a few seconds of pleasure? Now, there's certain things that are worse than others. I'm not saying any risk in the short term won't pay off, but you have to have a analysis. You have to analyze the decisions you make, and most people make decisions without doing any type of analysis. You need to make decisions like you're about to invest, because at the end of the day, you are investing. You're either investing in the right thing or the wrong thing. And when you're not patient, you're going to be investing in the wrong thing, most likely. That's why a lot of people fall for scams. A lot of people think that because their homie or the homie that they used to have in eighth grade hits them up when they're down bad and says that they can double what's in their checking account, even though it's only $17 in their checking account, they give them their routing information, and now they get scammed. The only way to get scammed is if you're not being patient. Because if you're being patient, instead of thinking about how I can double my checking account right now, why not provide a plan or a strategy to make 1 million in the next 10 years? People aren't thinking strategically, people aren't thinking long term, and that's something that can end up costing you dearly, because when you're only caught up in the short term, you really don't see your blind side. You don't see the bad things that come with taking these actions. One of the things that a lot of people also get caught up in, especially at a young age, is not being patient with their choice of women. And this is something that lots of people struggle with. And this is something that if you're not cognizant of, you're probably going to make the same mistake. And just think about how many people nowadays ruin their life because they laid with the wrong woman and now they're on child support. The Bible says that you should not give your strength unto a woman, but what are you doing when you're giving half your check to a woman that does not love you anymore? So you got to think about that. Just because somebody was impatient in their choice of woman and they slept with the wrong woman, they have now ruined their life. And it gets that deep. But a lot of people don't see it like this. If you are patient, you now have a hack for life. Because while everybody's out there clubbing it up on a Tuesday, you could be working on your business. You could be working on coding. You could be working on being the next great YouTuber. Who knows? Whatever your dreams or ambitions are, why not be patient, stay down till you come up, and then reap the benefits while everybody else is living an average lifestyle? Because in life, you're either going to have your pleasure on the front end or on the back end. But when you have your pleasure on the front end, more often than not, unless you're coming from the suburbs, unless you're coming from trust fund money, you're having pleasure, you're having fun without funds. And let me repeat that. You're having fun without funds. Why would you be out there clubbing it up, trying to buy drinks, trying to go out every weekend, but you can't afford a medical bill? And I was just kicking it up with the homie not too long ago. I was telling him, like, if you go out and God forbid somebody's drunk, because drunk people are roaming the streets at 1 a.m. at these bars. Somebody's drunk, and let's say they get mad and they're drunk, they're inebriated, they take a bottle and they throw it at you and hit you in the eye, you have to go to the hospital. They say the average hospital bill in 2022 is $11,000. So if you don't have $11,000, ask yourself, why would you go out and partake in pleasure if you can't pay that medical bill? And if you don't have $11,000 and you have to go to the hospital, if you don't have that 11,000 liquid, you're not going into debt. So you essentially enslaved yourself because you're not patient. And it gets that deep. You just got to see it like this. You got to see the world how it is. In life, the boring things, the things that people naturally don't want to do, are the things that you should be doing if you want to get ahead. Now, I said that you're going to have your pleasure on the front end or on the back end, but think about if you wait. Think about if you wait until you are the man and you don't have to go out and stand in line at a bar. Think about it. Why would you go out? You're supposed to be having fun. Why are you standing in line? How can you think that you're the man if you're standing in line? If you're the man and you're having your pleasure on the back end, you could give the bouncer $200 and walk to the front. Better yet, you can have a section ready for you when you go into the club if you're the man, or you can travel abroad. You can go to Indonesia. You can rent out the cold club and only invite your homies from the US. It's that deep if you have your pleasure on the back end, but that takes a while. Most people won't do that, but most people also won't be successful, and that's why we should do the things that most people don't do. You have to be patient. We have to be patient. My challenge for anybody who has made it this far in the video is to write down what you want your life to look like in 10 years. Write down what you want your life to look like in 5 years. And reverse engineer that. Start doing the things that you can do today to ensure you live that lifestyle. Let me clarify it. If you want to have a 3-bedroom house in New York by 2027, come up with a plan that's going to help you obtain that house by 2027. What can you do today to get you closer to your goal? Every action that we take on a day is going to come back to either help us or haunt us in the future. The choice is yours. I always say that in life, the best thing is the choice is yours.